Hello everyone, welcome. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to another lesson in our ongoing French course. I have a really great and exciting lesson for you today. The reason why this is so exciting is because this verb, once you know it, it's very powerful, no pun intended. You'll see why later in the lesson. It's very powerful in the sense that there's so much that you can do with it. It's so versatile and it will grow your ability to speak French by leaps and bounds. So that verb is the verb pouvoir. Pouvoir means to be able or can. Think about it. How often do you say I can or can you in English? It's one of the most frequently used verbs in the language. So let's take a quick look at the history, the evolution of this word pouvoir in French. So pouvoir comes from Latin potere, which means to be able. And I'm sure this first part of the word reminds you of words that you already know and that you use all the time in English. So potere is from Vulgar Latin, which was the Latin of the people, spoken Latin. The verb potere was derived from classical Latin, posse, and this word itself is composed of two words, potis esse, to be powerful. So this word here, potis, means power or powerful. And it actually goes back to a much older root from the Indo-European language, poti, which meant power. So this was the beginning of it all. From this word came words in English and French and actually many other languages. Indo-European spawned many languages, the Germanic languages, the Romance languages, and others. So here are the words that you recognize from English. For example, potent, omnipotent, potential, and even the word possible. Notice that possible looks a lot like posse, to be able to, from classical Latin. In French, we have possible, which is possible. The possibility, la possibilité, and for that matter, possibility in English as well. And also the noun, le pouvoir, which means the power. So that's a little bit of the history. Now to the verb itself. So this is an irregular verb, which means you just have to memorize the forms. The conjugation of the verb doesn't follow a regular pattern like it does for what we call regular verbs. So here we go. Here are the forms. You just have to memorize. Je peux, peut, peut. And you have to be careful for the pronunciation. Be sure to round your lips. Peut, peut, peut. Je peux, je peux. So I can or I am able. Tu. It's the exact same form. Tu peux, peut, peut. Il, elle, on share the same form. And notice there's a slight spelling change. The X changes to a T, but the pronunciation is the same. Remember that final consonants generally are not pronounced in French. So we have il peut, peut, elle peut, on peut. So il peut, he can, he is able. Elle peut, she can, she is able. On peut, one can, one is able. So these three are pronounced the same. Peut, peut, peut. Nous. Pouvons. This one looks more like the infinitive. Pouvons. Nous pouvons. We can, we are able. Next we have the vous form. Pouvez. Pouvez. Vous pouvez. You can, you are able. And then finally, il, elle, peuvent. 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 They can, they are able. So here it is. These are all the forms. It's an irregular verb. It's irregular because there's no pattern to the conjugation. You have to memorize the forms. It's as simple as that. And again, you just memorize through practice like native speakers do. Another very important thing to point out is the pronunciation. Since it is a very frequently used verb, you want to be sure that you get your pronunciation into the native speaker range. That's very important. So remember, these first three forms are pronounced identically. P, p, p. Remember, be sure when you're making the vowel sound here, be sure to round your lips. P, p, p. Je peux, tu peux, il, elle, on peut. Here the sound is different, of course. Pouvons, 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 pouvez. And notice that the vowel sound here is not the same as the first three. It's different. Bov, bov, bov. So we have peu, 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 pouvons, pouvez, peuvent. Peu, 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 pouvons, pouvez, peuvent. And there you have it. Repeat that part as much as possible. So here's the really fun and exciting part. It's really fun and exciting because you'll be able to use this verb in so many situations. It's used very often on a daily basis for French speakers. And there's so much you can do with it. It's really exciting when you can really communicate with people. Here's the next thing you need to know, and this is what makes it very versatile. We use pouvoir, a conjugated form of pouvoir, plus an infinitive to say that you can do something or you are able to do something. And when I say conjugated form of pouvoir, for the moment, I mean in the present tense. You can actually use it in other tenses. We haven't gotten there yet, but we'll get there. So pouvoir in the present tense. So what would that look like? Well, for example, if I throw in the infinitive aller, pouvoir plus aller, what does this mean? Well, it means that you can or someone can go, or you are able to, or someone is able to go. Pouvoir aller. Okay, so here's the really fun part now. To apply what you've learned, I'm sure your goal is to be able to speak, to be able to use this in conversation. So let's look at some possibilities here of what you can say. For example, je peux sortir. I can go out. If I want to say I can swim, je peux nager. I can sing. Je peux chanter. chanter. Let's try another subject here. Elle, she can. Elle peut, she can drive. Elle peut conduire. She can draw. Elle peut dessiner. She can dance. Elle peut danser. Think about it. Your ability to express ideas here is only limited by how many infinitives you know. So the more infinitives you know, the better, and the more you can say. Let's try another subject. Vous pouvez, you can. You can swim. Vous pouvez nager. You can play tennis. Vous pouvez jouer au tennis. You can cook. Vous pouvez cuisiner. Remember, you can also ask a question by inversion. This is the more formal way of asking a question. So conjugated verb first, then subject pronoun linked by a hyphen. Pouvez-vous? Can you? Can you swim? Pouvez-vous nager? Can you play tennis? Pouvez-vous jouer au tennis? Can you cook? Pouvez-vous cuisiner? And again, the amount of questions that you can ask is only limited by how many infinitives you know. So this should motivate you to learn more infinitives, because the more you know, the more things you can say. And there you have it, the irregular verb pouvoir. Just memorize the forms through practice and you've got it made. Well, we've come to the end of another exciting lesson. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful, I would appreciate it very much if you'd give it a like. Subscribers, as always, thank you so much for your support. And also have a look at the description of this video. I'll put a link in there for one of my playlists, which will have more examples of this verb pouvoir. To go on to another lesson, click on the video that appears here on your screen. See you soon. À bientôt.